And I pray everyone is up in their glory on this Tuesday morning in February. I just pray that you all are up in your glory. Um, I wanted to talk about something that I think that most Americans, not just Black America, especially Black America, of course, we paying attention, but some of us are anyway. I can't speak for all of us. I want to talk about someone looking over your nation, someone being your leader, someone making sure they lead with clarity and they don't allow others to come into the United States and just invade us and take over and even take over that seat that you're fighting to get in that Oval Office and the decisions you got to make for the people of the United States. We, the people of the United States. I didn't know all of this stuff before when I was growing up as a kid because, when you kids, you work on kids, you never really figured out who you really are in the world yet. So you easily to be persuaded by certain things, by people, influenced by certain people in the way they talk, or sometimes just interested in them because of the way they might dress and the way they might wear their hair or whatever. Something you drawn to them by their personality or something about their characteristics, right? Um, Before I get into this conversation, let's go into the Word of God in prayer. I don't want to start without that, but I'm going to hold that thought. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day, Lord, our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who have trespassed against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thy you are the kingdom, the power, and also all the glory forever and ever. Amen. Okay. Now back to what I was saying about us being kids, not knowing who we are. We still trying to figure out who we are. We still got to be seasoned enough to come to the true understanding of the reality of life. Okay. Um, I can't see this man, Gavin Newsom, ever being the president of the United States. I had to be honest with myself. I said, look, I would rather Kamala. If it was between him and Kamala, I think I'd pick Kamala. On the simple fact, even though neither one of them I really care for to be the president of not the United States of America, but I'm just saying because something about this man doesn't interest me. That tells me he's an American. In some kind of way, he's not for the American people. He's just trying to really get his way in there for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I think this man has a lot of connection with foreigners across state. Now, I don't want to. I don't know if this is true. Now, I'm just saying, but something about him, the way he be moving, is that he seems to be the people that they want to endorse and put in place in presidency so that he can fix certain things for them in their country. And that's the game. And I don't think he's going to be taking very good care of the American people. For some reason, I think he'll be trading us out for foreign alliance. Okay? For foreign alliances, he will trade the American people for the foreign alliances he have with some foreign countries. And these countries that's not friendly to America. Because after what I saw in California in during the unrest protest that was going on in California, see, good leadership would have showed him better if he would have just followed the executive order with Trump. If he didn't give Trump such a hard time when Trump was trying to put things in place to come in and do the things his ICE agents had to come do, and how those people was carrying on protesting out there for 100 and something whatever times they've been out there, but he never showed good leadership. Even when California, even before all of that, even when California was burning, all them fires were going on, how Gavin Newsom wasn't on top of the job like he should have been. He was so busy out there taking photo ops. And he was busy out there trying to get his name out there so he could run for some position as president. How could you be a president of the United States, sir, and you haven't even handled one job as governor for one state? How are you going to handle 50 states when you haven't even taken care of one? See, Black America, we not stupid. Our spiritual lenses are on. Because we've been the people in America that have been overlooked the most. We have been the people who have helped every foreigner, just about every foreigner came through the gates of 1965 Civil Rights Act. Just about every foreigner, European, I'm not talking about the European foreigners. I'm talking about those from the Middle East and Africa and Jamaica and all these other countries like Venezuela, Ecuador, you name it. Okay? Where dark skinned people of the regions are. And you mean to tell me that you couldn't handle California? You let California burn to the ground. Burn, baby, burn. Okay? Do let those Mexicans and those foreigners or whoever they were in California, because I can't say all Mexican, because there's all different types of Hispanic culture and groups, from different places, from South America, from Central America, from North America, from whatever part of America. You have some Latinos, you have some blacks, and you have maybe some whites. Oh, some whites as well. But I'm just saying, like these parts of the places of the world where it's mostly people of a darker complexion. I'm gonna just say that. Well, I don't know who Gavin Newsom think he's gonna play in they head with, who head he gonna play in, but he ain't playing in mine. And I just want to bring the warning out here to voters that please be careful who you vote for your. I can't tell you who to vote for, but I'm just gonna tell you this: just be careful. Because you don't like Trump, maybe you don't may like not like MAGA, but let's go through everything with a fine comb. Because America right now, we got people here that got a way of thinking where they want to just take America and just throw us away to foreigners and put foreigners in the place of American citizens in our government. They want to give foreigners everything. They want to give money to foreigners to help foreigners. And we got Americans right now living in New York who just been living in a certain project apartment. And believe me, the projects, people could talk about the projects, but the projects ain't what it used to be for the people that pay the rent in those projects. Most people that work and live in the projects, and they do have jobs, they have to pay. You wouldn't believe the amount of money they paying for rent for those apartments. Well, anyway, it's just been an explosion of a gas explosion in an apartment in a housing project in New York, in the Bronx, on Boston Road, somewhere up there on Boston something projects. And people are right now displaced. And they really need help. They need someone to give them emergency assistance for their home. Their homes are right now, because of the explosion, there has been certain parts of their home that has been damaged and it needs repairs. I don't know when it happened. It's winter time now. People can't even go back to their apartment because it's cold. There's probably no heat on. They gave them hot plates or whatever like that because they haven't put the stoves back on in the apartments. They haven't, me personally in buildings like that, I don't think they should have gas stoves. I think they should have electric. That's the way I feel. I don't think they should be using gas stoves in large apartment buildings. Back in the days, you could have done that. But these days, the way the mindsets of people and people coming from all these different places of the world and everything else like that, they mind is not, used to some of the appliances and the things that we have over here because they don't use certain things because they use mostly outdoor cooking than indoor cooking. Okay, because the climate of the country they live in is probably very warm. So they do a lot of mostly they cooking outdoors than they do indoors. So I'm just saying as part of stuff like this, we got to look at the problems in America that needs to be our main focus right now. We can't really be helping foreigners and from other places of the world. We really can't do that. We can't afford to do that anymore. And this thing just took place over there in Mexico where the one of the leaders of the cartel was murdered and killed, or something that happened. He was I don't know what happened, but I saw some highlights of what was taking place out there in Mexico, up in some mountain of Mexico, a town. And some people are out there vacation. American citizens are out there. People from other places are vacation. You know what? I never think about going to Mexico. Ever since that Shanquilla situation happened, and that young lady was beaten by six, went there with six of her friends, and they end up beating her up in that hotel, and nobody really know really truly what happened behind that video, behind why these young people weren't arrested. It happened in Mexico. So I don't mess with Mexico. Only Mexico I mess with is the ones that live in the United States, because I have no other choice and I have to live around them. But other than that, I don't go to their countries. I don't go to nobody's country. If I feel their country is always having some type of civil wars and unrest and just all kind of crazy stuff going on in their country, and they over here in the United States and don't want to go back to their country, right there will tell me, stay your butt in the United States of America. I don't care who gets on any kind of video on some whatever they doing. They on vacation, they visiting some country, they doing content there, they visiting the place, and they eating the food, and they sleeping in these people's hotels or whatever you rule, a brothel, whatever you use as your place of residency while you are there. And I see the lifestyles that go on from the people that, oh, it's so beautiful. Yeah, why don't you just stay over there then? That's the way I look at it. Don't come and tell me, don't show me no video you out there and it's so beautiful. But hello, half of the people that live there as the citizens of this place that were born there don't want to come back. Why? They get here to the United States of America, but they don't want to return to their own place of origin. Why? But you think I'm going to do all this touring? Well, y'all need to tour. I don't do touring. I barely been in a lot of places in the United States of America. I play it safe, boo-boo. There's spirits out there, and you don't know where you walking into. Now these people are out there in Mexico, and they don't even know. They gotta send help out there for the people and they citizens of the United States. They had to touch the embassy of the United States, and they have to send some kind of help and aid to get those people out of that country. They was there on their so-called vacation. Why couldn't they just go to a beach here in the South Carolinas? Oh, it's wintertime. I forgot. It's warmer in Mexico. Well, you could have went to someplace like maybe Dominican Republic, even Puerto Rico. Okay? I would have went as close as I can to the United States of America, but I will not be in Mexico. Okay? That place is very, very it's just a lot that goes on in Mexico. That's that country over there. I don't go to no countries where I hear is always some kind of, cartel, drug wars, and all that stuff going on. Even though America is dangerous, got some danger going on here, but at least I know I'm from America. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference. I'm from here. I know that it's not all that perfect. We got crime and everything in America too. But if I feel some places are worse than others, I just ain't stepping out on my faith. No way, no thank you. No can do. Stay my butt right here in the United States, because there's plenty of things here to do and plenty of work here in America to do in building, rebuilding, and restoring America. I don't need to be in nobody else's country trying to fix their problems. Sorry, no can do. Okay, don't even want them over here trying to come over here and ask us to help them and fix their problems. I think that a problem is to sip them right back to their country and let them fix their problems over there. That's the way I feel. And I'm sorry that America has to be friends with allies and alliances with other places of the world, and they have to allow people to come here so they can give them jobs and help them out and economic for the economy or whatever it might be, whatever reasons why they do immigration. But these so and so don't want to go home. And it costs American people more money, more dollars, more everything when these people come into the United States of America and they running around here illegally and undocumented. And then we got these people running for presidency. I don't even know this man's policy. He probably don't even have one. Just talking just to get in that office. And once he get there, he's going to do nothing for the American people. And I guarantee you that. So quit while you ahead, Gavin. Um, they got to get somebody that will suit the job. Because, see, people just put anybody in there because they hate Trump so much. And that's a problem. That is a problem. For me, that's a problem. They got to get their heart right. They got to get their heart right. All of them. AOC, that dumb Latino girl, she just is ignorant and stupid. I don't even pay her no attention. She don't even speak well to me enough to be in nobody Congress. Dumb old Jasmine Crockett. They don't got nothing over there. It's just a mess over there. And it's sad that I am registered to that party, but that doesn't necessarily mean I vote for them. I vote for whoever I want that is qualified. But nobody going to convince me that this Gavin Newsom guy will be a good candidate for presidency. The man can't even read. Listen to this.
Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Today, we are taking down the hypocrisy and calling out the lies about the condescending nonsense from top Democrats. This is unbelievable. And how black voters, along with heavy hitters like Stephen A. Smith and Bill Maher, are clapping back hard. Wait till you see these black Americans who are confused and indignant over what Newsom, Schumer, and others have to say. Gavin Newsom's out here telling a black crowd he's just like you. Why? Because of his low SAT scores. Seriously.
Isn't that terrible that he's going to get on the play? And that's what I don't like about Democrats. They always try to play on emotions. They always try to tell you something that they have some kind of disability with, or something that, they life of tragedy, or something that will try to just really win you emotionally. That's what I don't like about Democrats. And to use that as a way to win the black vote, not reading. Oh, we don't want nobody that don't know how to read. Hell to the hell no. Hell to the no. After what our ancestors went through, that was not allowed to read. And many of our early education was interrupted because some of us, our ancestors, I'm going to say our ancestors, their education was interrupted because of the work they had to do, that they could not complete their education to work on their farms or do whatever they needed to do at a certain time during the day, and try to get their education at whatever time of the day. Okay? So one thing black Americans ain't going to do, we ain't going to play with our education. That's one thing we not going to do, is play with our education. And if we need to get reading readiness classes for our children to help them in some of those shaded gray areas of their reading skills, we will put in that extra curriculum time. Don't need no dumbass president running the country. Somebody that can't read. Who will vote for a president that can't read? Even Lincoln himself took education. George Washington, our founding, most of our presidents in the United States of America stayed in the study room, okay, of studying presidents and their strategies during their civil wars or whatever crisis they had to deal with. Within that time, they go back and do research, and they have to read. So how the hell you gonna vote for a president who can't read very well? One thing about every president that sat in the United States of the American office is one thing they know how to do. They know how to read, and read very well. Read it very well. Because they have a study room, a president's library in the White House, and presidents go in there to find certain research about their presidents. They have time when they have to sit down, they have to study these presidents. Because Lincoln studied Washington, even though he was the 12th president of the United States, and Washington was the first, so there was other presidents before him. But while Washington was the president of the United States, Lincoln studied him. He studied him throughout his entire time. He followed Washington. So every president coming to the United States of America, you have to know something about American history, and you damn sure better know about presidents, and you better know about dates, times, and what happened in wars or whatever. You have to do some studying. And sometimes you got to move as you go along. You have to learn as you go along about some of the presidents, about that Constitution. The Secretary of State, you have to know about that. You got to know about the general officers, all of that. You got to learn everything about military in America. You have to learn every office of military in America government. So you just can't be sitting up there as a dumbass just to be sitting up there in front of a camera just so you can get photo ops and people can look at you and dress the part or whatever it is. But you got to know your stuff. And I try to give y'all this information, America, because I don't want American people to be out here being, bamboozled. Or picking leaders like this. Yes, we're going to always have problems. It's going to deal with immigration. We're going to have those issues going on in America. It's always been a problem in America, even from every president other than President Trump. When everybody had to do their part in immigration, okay? They had to clean house. They had to get some of these people that was living in the United States who were not documented and those who were criminals, and they could be here for 20 years undocumented. You know why? Because they was under TPS status. Temporary protection status. So when you under TPS, that kind of protects you from being deported. But now that your TPS is canceled, President Trump lifted it and he said, nah, it's time for them to go. They've been here too long. And they looking at dates that people been living here 20 years. They could have been here 30 years, raised a whole family, brought a home, everything. And they TPS status. And they get comfortable and they stay in the United States of America. They don't check up on their status. They just get in here and they just build their life. They get the help they get through some politician or political influence or somebody that helped them get into the United States. And they get food and all these food stamps and Medicaid and benefits or whatever else they can get from the United States and the government. Some of them even get jobs that will put their kids in, and then they get money for their children to go into child care for, child care support and help and everything else like that. The Democrat Party been using all of that. And let me tell you, they come over here, they do all of that, they build their life. They've been here 20, 30 years, some even maybe even 40. I saw them doing document on taking in some immigrants that was here, ICE agents. The man, he was from he was from Poland. He was from one of those European countries. And he been living in the United States for over 20 something years. And they caught his butt. And he said, all I want to do is work and make my money and go back to my... Nah, man, you out of here. They didn't even let him go back to his house. They put him inside a room. They said they're going to transport him to wherever they're going to hold him. They put him in this holding room for a minute while they had him. He was in the room, and they put another man. It was a man from India that did it. It was a man from Poland that did it. It's a whole lot of them that do it. You'd be surprised how long they've been living in the United States, and they're not citizens. They're not legal citizens. They had temporary protection status, and they stayed longer than they were supposed to. They never checked on their status. And the thing has happened because of COVID. Remember, we had COVID. That kind of delayed some things. And all the other things that get messed up in between, but they are supposed to check in with their own status. So how they kind them is through the database, the system. Okay, what happens? I don't know why I got this on the screen like this. Let me move that. Okay, I just wanted to just take a tip of that, but I'm not going to do too much. But what I'm saying and everything to you is that people think that they could just come here, get claim temporary protected status, and they start building their life here in the United States of America. They don't stay on top of their status. They still, you're supposed to stay on top of your appointments. Go and see, check on your in the immigration. Tell them about what your status is. Show them documentation why you can't go back to your country, why you can't live in your country. What are the reasons why you escaping for political reasons and this, that, and the other. You have to show documentation. They give you time to show those to get all your paperwork together. While you here, they will temporarily care for you and make sure you protect it. So while you're here, they'll make sure they go through all your paperwork. Now, these people that these a lot of American people don't know this because I didn't know this. Believe it or not, I'm just coming to know this since President Trump became president of the United States is when I started to learn more about these things and policies and immigration and about really truly being an American. You could be born here, but you can't be. You could be born here, and this is what he says: birthright citizenship. Yeah, you have birthright citizenship. Born here from immigrant parents is not a birthright citizenship, especially if you was born here while they was on temporary protected status. They weren't citizens of the United States officially. Okay. And then on top of that, maybe somebody came here on vacation time while you were pregnant and stayed more or visiting or whatever for a certain amount of time while they were pregnant. They never say they pregnant and they have a baby right here in the United States. And then they try to anchor that baby as citizenship. That is coming to an end. Now they want to fight against it. No, we got to do it that way because that's not right. You sneak it into the country, you using all kind of tactics, and it needs to stop. You need to go have your babies back in your country and raise them there. Because when you come to America, you're going to try to raise them in America in your culture anyway. So you could be an enemy of America, so y'all could try to take over America. That's the game. That's what they do. They try to overpopulate us. But we on top of the job, and I'm just telling Americans to be careful with that birthright citizen stuff because a lot of you don't know it's case by case. Some of these people were not citizens when they had these babies in the United States of America. Some of them been here for 10, 20, 30 years. The child on grown up now. So that's why you see when the immigration be pulling some people, and they be like, oh, I've been here 30 years. Like this one man, he been here 30 years, never applied for his citizenship. And they've been here for 30 years of the TPS. That's what President Trump is talking about. That's what they looking at. And people are out here fighting with ICE agents, talking about ICE go home and this. No, I want ICE here. Because these people are hurting the economy. They trying to take over the United States of America. They trying to continue to overpopulate us. They taking over housing that is for American citizens first. And it's a whole lot of other criminal things they doing. So this immigration thing not only hasn't happened in America, but it happens in other countries as well. They won't get as far in other countries as they do get in America. That's why they've been trying to get over here. Because other countries ain't going to let them use their system like they've been using the American system. And they already fucked up London, Europe. Your business is done. Thank God we broke away from them. But anyway. I'm just saying, the culture here in America, why we got to save America, why we got to get these people out of the United States of America. They don't belong here. They could go in their own country. They got the same mouth, the same hands, legs, whatever they have, mind, whatever, to build their own country. They have all the ability, the same abilities that we have over here to build our country and to make things work for us here and to make it comfortable for us here. They could go back to their country and do the same thing. I don't feel sorry for no immigrant, none whatsoever. Only immigrant I will feel sorry for is the children that's born here and didn't know they were an immigrant. That's it. Because they didn't ask to be born. Okay? Those are the ones I feel sorry. But the rest of the immigrants, the hell to the no. But they got to take their kids with them because no matter what, kids going to love their parents regardless. So it is what it is. And I'm not going to catch all their hell. Let them catch their own hell. Their own kids. Let their kids be angry with them, not me. So anyway, I just wanted to come quickly. But let me go and say this about Gavin Newsom because I just don't think this man is fit for presidency, and I think I'm gonna be on his neck about this. I'm gonna be on the neck on the internet about this, really going real hard at him because I don't want no dummy leading the United States of America. Trust me. I said leadership is not a popularity contest. It's a responsibility. I do not believe Gavin Newsom is fit to the President of the United States. Leadership at the highest level requires steadiness, competence, and ability to govern effectively, not just speak smoothly on a stage. A president must command respect at home and abroad, handle crisis without confusion, and demonstrate executive strength that reassures the American people. California's record under the leadership raises serious concerns for me. If a governor struggles to make one state effectively, how can we entrust him with 50? This is not personal. This is about preparedness. The presidency is not an experiment. It is not a media tour. It is not a branding opportunity. It is the most powerful office in the world. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. That's Proverbs 29:2. And also let all things be done decency and in order. 1 Corinthians 14:40. Order, stability, and competence. America does not need performance politics. We need leadership that inspires confidence and security. I do not feel safe under his potential leadership, and that matters. We deserve better than optics. We deserve strength. We deserve readiness. And Casey McDaniel speaks. Okay? So I'm just saying that I wanted this to get out there because I don't think this man is qualified. Look at his face. He don't even look like somebody that could run the United States of America. He can't even deal with the foreign people across from us. He might think he can, because right now he think he could do a better job than Trump because he probably try to talk to people and try to win people over with feelings and emotions and shit. But that shit don't work with everybody. You gotta sometimes carry a heart of stone when you dealing with the ops or you dealing with people from a foreign country. You can't just automatically just open your heart to them and be friendly with them and think they are going to do what they think they supposed to do. Sometimes you got to hold back. That's leadership. You have to really, really figure them out. Because this man here, he plays on emotions, and emotions is not good. For somebody to play on emotions and someone like him as a man to be emotional, the emotions he have, like all that sympathy talk shit about his reading, his dyslexia or his reading disability, that's emotions. Oh my God, he can't read. Wow. Look at him. He might just be a good president. Even though he can't read, he probably can do other things even better. That's how some people think. No, don't tell me you can't read and you want to run to be the president. That ain't going to work with me. You ain't going to play with my head with that, and you're not going to play on my emotions with that. That's how I feel. And if anybody want to play on their life like that as a citizen of the United States, and you want some people to be coming over here, all of a sudden you see you invaded, I don't want nobody like this as president. I'm sorry. And especially the way he acted when all that shit was going on in California. The least thing he could have done is say, okay, we're not going to bomb. We're not going to throw things. Y'all can protest, but we don't want to break any laws. It's this way you come out and show leadership. You don't even got to put Trump name the fuck in it. And they get me sick with that. Everything is Trump doing it. You ain't no motherfucking better. That's why he's the president and your fucking ass is not. Okay? You ain't gonna do no better. If anything, the shoe proved themselves to be better than Trump. They should have been following the executive orders exactly the way he had asked them to do as chief and commander. But instead, they decided to fight against him and rebel against him and all this other stuff. And it didn't make Trump look bad. It made them look bad because nobody won't trust their ass to sit in office as any fucking president. Because if you can't do the least, what makes you think you can handle much? This is what I'm trying to tell America. Don't vote for these people. Don't. But I can't really tell you who to vote for. You vote for who you want to, but I got to give you the warning. Before it happens, these kind of people is unqualified to be sitting in office in the United States of America in that high position in presidency. I'm sorry. This is nothing to play with. So anyway, y'all, your girl Casey, I gotta go. I'll get back with y'all later. I gotta get ready for my facial appointment, get myself in the shower, get dressed because I haven't done any of that. But I will try to get back with you all later and moving in rhythm. So with that.